Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to our representative lecturer, Encik Hasanuddin bin Hassan, and all my fellow friends. We from class AFT1023 Fundamental of Management from L4. Before I restart the presentation, let me introduce myself first. My name is Izzah Binti Gazman. My matric number is A20A1870. The first one is Frederick Winslow Taylor. Frederick Winslow Taylor was born on 20 March 1856 in Pennsylvania. He lived with both his parents in a Quaker family in Pennsylvania. He died on 20 March 1915 at his residence when he was 59 years old. In 1854, Taylor was married with Louise Ann Spooner. He is known as a father of scientific management. This theory is about the relationship between the employers and how employers' productivity can be affected. Taylor's approach to management as it relates to the general administrative. Scientific management can be summarized in four main principles. The first one is develop of scientific management's knowledge for each element of work, selections and training of employers' developments, monitor performance, and allocate work between managers and employers. Next, federal approach in today's context. Scientific management follows a method that is both simple and rigid. Scientific management is also very important in today's organizations. Taylor created a formalized method of keeping record of time and motions in which job operations were performed within the industry in order for the principle to be applied in today's operation within organizations. Scientific management in the 21st century is coming as an alternative to the needs of the organizations. After that, example can be related with Frederick Taylor is Ford put Taylor's concept of divisions of labor into effect the automobile industry. After he invented it, however, mostly the supermarket use Taylor's concept of the divisions of labor and specializations, but the other sectors has incorporated scientific management into a day-to-day operations. Scientific management take place to make employers' facility more effective and relevant. This scientific management also help employers to facilitate their works to be done in order and net manners and can even increase efficiency in a company. Through this scientific management, it provides various advantages and benefits for all. Lastly, the advantage and disadvantage of Frederick Winslow Taylor's. The first advantage is enhanced productions. It is about cooperation between managers and workers. The scientific management theory is responsible for improvement productivity since it focuses on continuous improvement in business operations. The second advantage is ability to control, and the third advantage is pay system. For the first disadvantage is demotivating approach. Employers concentrate how well they do their jobs and the number of outcomes they generate, as well as a time period when management use a scientific approach. As a result, workers could feel undervalued and alienated, leading to absenteeism. The second disadvantage is work decisions, and third is adverse effect.
Hi, my name is Athirah Binti Muhammad Sukri, number matrix A23A 1855. Today I want to present about Henry Gunn. Henry Lawrence Gunn was born on 20 May 1861 and died on 23 November 1990. Gunn was an American mechanical engineer and management consultant who is the best for his work in the development of scientific management. He joined Frederick Winslow Taylor in applying scientific management principle. Henry Gunn legacy to project management is the following in the making the Gantt chart, the task and bonus system, industrial efficiency, and the lastly is the social responsibility business. After that, this slide is about Henry Gunn approach to management. Firstly, Gantt chart is a graphic aid. It used in planning, scheduling, and controlling the cost of a task. Next, the task and bonus system is to improve employee performance, such as task bonds and the payment system and other methods that facilitate this process. Thirdly, the industrial efficiency. It can only be produced by the application of scientific analysis to all aspects of the work in progress. And lastly, for the social responsibility business is to ensure that companies have a social responsibility to look after the welfare of the community. Now is Henry Gunn approach in today's context. Gantt chart made it easy for a person to describe a project or activity with a diagram made time the task began to the end of a job. It also emphasizes the importance of time and cost in planning and controlling work. Secondly, for the social responsibility business, organization must have a duty the welfare of society to make them operate. It also can create a harmonious atmosphere in business and create more value in oneself and strengthen friendship. And the last, for the task and bonus system, it's giving an advantage to the employee to perform a task diligently and further increase the existing productivity. The organization can achieve a certain standard of the quality output. Employees and supervisors to achieve organization goals. This is an example of the Gantt chart. We can see that this is Gantt chart for the project activity on the subject of AFT1023-L4 Fundamentals of Management by Athirah, Izzah and NurFarhanah for assignment 2 from group 5. Every person has a task that needs to do according to the study week at University Malaysia Kelantan. The Gantt chart has advantage and disadvantage. The advantage can show the time, activities, and work demands of a master schedule, easy understood by every user, have a graph overview, and easy to identify the tasks. Meanwhile, for the disadvantage because of two. Firstly is the task dependency. The Gantt chart does not indicate the specific relationship of dependency between one activity and another. Secondly, because of the list study available, it is difficult to make adjustment or improvement.
My name is NurFarhanah Binti My metric number is 820A1816. Next, Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol born on 29 July 1841 at Istanbul and passed away 19 November 1925 at Paris. His fresh-minded executive developed a general theory of administration called Fayolism. Henry Fayol approach to management related administrative is 5 functions. Is first, planning, commanding, controlling, coordinating, and organizational. 14 principles of general management to guide all managers approach all management today of Henry Fayol is first is division work. Managers should divide work into different parts. For example, curtain tailor gets order curtain 100 pieces and she have a 5 worker and she divided 2 ways to complete this order. Second principle is authority and responsibility. Manager must have authority and responsibility hand in hand. For example, CEO company has double sale and should have authority to representative their workers. And third is discipline. To successful work, a performance manager must have a discipline in work. Also this worker, and for example, employees promise for working up their full capacity. Fourth is unity commanded. Every individual employee should receive the orders. 5. Unity of direction. All employees must be one plan for a group activities having objective and one managers to this group. For example, automobile company is manufacturing namely 2 product, car and scooter, having 2 divisions. 6. Subordination of individual interests to general interests. For example, manager make some decision but result in a great profit to the company. 7. Remuneration employees. For example, the company is getting good profit and the thing are getting dearer. 8 is centralization and decentralization. For example, advantage to have more centralization in a small business and business unit and more decentralization in big business unit. 9 is quality. For example, employee can have direct contact with employee. 10 is order. For example, an employee working in factory must know the place or source to get the tool. 11 is equity. For example, managers treat their employees in kind manner to the develop. 12 stability of personnel. For example, workers are not well and the atmosphere in his company unhealthy. The 13 is initiative. For example, a sales manager to implement a new advertisement technique suggestion. And the last principle is spirit the corps. For example, in case of sport or team members. Next is advantage and disadvantage handle failure. First advantage is facilities organizational structure. Second is promote the team concept. Next is disadvantage is the function of command and control. 1868 at Binti and passed away on 18 December 1933 at Boston. She is mother of management. Followed major ideas related general. Administrative is first is constructive conflict, second is coordination, and third is leadership, and fourth is power, authority, and control. Followed approach on related context. First is she ideas of administration as being essential involved, recalling individual as well as social group. Second is followed on conflict management is social, which is accompanied by human. That is organizational is a social system but not a cooperative social system. Next, followed related example. First, valuing different that very individual voice was essential to democracy. The second is the process integration is at the heart of followed philosophy. Then the advantage and disadvantage is many followed advantage is first, the role of the manager of define. And second is increased efficiency of communication between employees. Then the last in disadvantage is not a specific theory or strategy.
The last one is Max Weber. Max Weber was a German sociologist who was one of the pioneers of modern sociology in the 19th century. His real name is Maximilian Karl Emil Weber. He born on 21 April 1864 in Prussia. However, he died on 14 June 1920 in Germany. He wrote The Protestant Ethic and Spirit of Capitalism in 1905. In 1893, Weber married Marianne Schneider. They would have no children. Max Weber is well known as a father of sociologists. According to Weber, there are 6 characteristics of bureaucracy. The first one is hierarchy management structure, task specializations, divisions of labor, formal selection process, career orientations, formal rule and regulations, and impersonality. Next, Max Weber approach into the content. He thinking on social class. Social class may be a deeply important to concept and phenomenon in sociology. Bureaucracy advocates impersonal, rationalized, and institutionalized spirit that hamper personal growth and personal matures in a certain extent in the influence of the efficiency in the unity and organization member. The inverted of purpose and means make formers rationality enter the erroneous zones. From the practical perspective analysis, bureaucracy lead to widespread bureaucratic and cooperation problems. After that, example can be related with the Max Weber is bureaucracy exists throughout society and the business world. Bureaucratic organizations are available in both public and private institutions. There are examples of bureaucracy from Max Weber in which the public sectors cover many parts such as government administrations, the military, and almost all the university. However, in business and other non-governmental bureaucratic organizations, there is also the cadre of professional managers. The advantage and disadvantage of Max Weber approach. The first advantage of Max Weber approach is creativity thrives within a bureaucracy. Although a bureaucracy is a frequency through the massive collections of rules and regulations, it is also a place where accountability is required. People who work in bureaucracies frequency has a greater degree of education and the general populations are more self-directed, open-minded, and embrace their creativity in ways that benefit the publics. The second is job security is provided, and the third is encourages specializations. The disadvantage of Max Weber is it is difficult to maintain high morale within a bureaucracy. If there is no vision and purpose to be added, it may be difficult to maintain repetitive patterns. A bureaucracy fosters appreciation for the manner in which a work complete rather than the quality of the completions. The lower morale because the individual's goals take precedence over the goals of the bureaucratic framework. The second and the third disadvantage is no emphasis on creating additional competencies, and it fosters a structure that does not create true productivity.
In conclusion, we can see that the management practice adopted by today were the result of contribution from management thinkers in the past. We can see that the idea, concept, and method put forward by them, it can help managers to manage their organization more efficiently and effectively, as well as more competitively. So that's all from our group. Thank you.